and welcome to Discovery Week. We had San Diego Comic-Con, we had a new trailer, we have a lot of stuff to talk about, and you guys have been following us all this week with new reviews and analyzings and looking at all those little things, comparing it to the universe, other things, and you guys notice what's happening here, but I need to ask, Stuart, what are you doing?
Nothing. I'm just waiting for you to announce what we're talking about.
I think the audience knows by the thumbnail, the name, and if they didn't know what we're talking about by any of those things, you're holding a Batleth. So we're talking about Federation Disruptors.
It's not a Batleth. This is my new mustache. Don't you like the style?
Well, it's unique.
It's like a handlebar mustache.
It's like a Batleth mustache. It's like a. It's
anyway, we're talking about Klingon Batleths, guys.
The new one.
The new one.
We saw new images at San Diego Comic-Con, and people have released images, and we're here to talk about them. So, Stuart, what did you think of this? And again, it's not necessarily technically a Batleth. We're taking that as a conceptual piece, but it's a larger bladed weapon of a sort. So it's what we've seen as an equivalent. So, what's your take on it?
I thought it was pretty cool. It looks very insect-like.
It looks so deadly, Stuart, what you're doing. I feel uncomfortable about you doing that. I feel like you're going to hurt yourself.
Sorry, I'll put this down.
I need my co-host, Stuart. Don't be Batlething yourself out of a job.
Anyway, like I said, looks very cool, but it seems almost insect-like. It doesn't really seem like... I can see that they're trying to maintain a Batleth look with this, but go in a totally new direction. And again, we've talked about this with the other stuff, like the torchbearer armor and the little knife, the dagger, and even the disruptors. It's got a very ancient Klingon vibe. Now, that being said, the most ancient Batleth that ever existed was Kahless's Batleth. And that was, of course, made with a strand of his hair that he dipped in the lava and forged this blade. Again, we've talked about this with the Klingon stuff. Is it ceremonial or is it an everyday functional Batleth? This seems very much ceremonial to me, very much ancient, fancy, ceremonial, and not very utilitarian. I don't think this would work very well in a battle. There doesn't seem to be many edges per se. Seems to be a few points, but no real, cutting edges. So it's cool looking, but I don't know how practical it would be.
Yeah, it's like the limited edition Batleth you give to your son at his 21st birthday, and he successfully does a targ hunt with the mountain targs of. Yeah, exactly. It's his specialist one. It's his collector's edition. It says on the wall. It says, I got it. I'm a black belt of Batleth. Therefore, I have the
a Dahar Master. A Dahar Master's blade. That's what this is.
They didn't want booze or something. Well, that's just those guys. No, it's very interesting. You're right. It doesn't look as deadly, but then again, we know how blunt Batleths are. Sort of really. I mean, they're very ineffective when they want to be, and very effective when they want to be. But at least you can see it's just one big chunk of metal, of raw slicing metal is the theory. But also you can disarm people. You can use it's a very effective weapon actually. Kind of difficult to wield, but once you know how to wield it, I mean, they even dedicate scenes and episodes of how to handle a Batleth in DS9 with Jadzia and such. I mean, they thought about it, so that's quite impressive. This one, obviously, I think we'll take in turns what we see, but the big thing I see is on the right hand side, it's got like a scythe edition. Huh.
Yeah, I mean, the practicality of that. I mean, stabbing somebody in the head, I guess, or even tripping somebody, hooking their foot and pulling it out from under them. Or cutting wheat. I don't know.
You gotta cut wheat, Stuart. If you don't do it, who will?
This is what the Klingon Grim Reaper brings.
There you
go.
I buy that. Absolutely. It's a spiritual recreation of a fairy tale weapon, in a sense. I'm trying to work out how you'd wield it, because
there's
if you hold it that way, then you're stabbing yourself almost with these.
Yeah.
So you got to do the other way, but then your side facing you, and you're only stabbing them with points that don't actually stab.
Yeah. See, if this broke apart right in the middle and was actually two swords,
Ooh.
That would be kind of cool. And then can connect. But that's also kind of chintzy and gimmicky. I can't see a connection point there, so I don't think that's the case.
Well, if we cut to the secondary image as part of this episode, the sort of hand weapons, which is clearly a Batleth style and like an axe. I mean, that bottom one, you can almost see it connecting us into something else. I mean, it's obviously stylistically different. But, I mean, if you go back to this thing, I mean, if you did take it out, I mean, this would be two very interesting swords.
Absolutely.
I'm not sure how, again, you'd make them work, but this is human understanding of weaponry. I mean, if you're trained, if it's your standard weapon for 100 years, although we've never seen one before, so it probably isn't. But if it's ancient, then maybe 1,000 years or whatever, then you know how to use it. But yeah, it could be very interesting. But I don't see those outer, so that the main two long blades, the outer edge, which is what's pushing down, doesn't look sharp. It looks more it's relying on the point and then the grooves maybe, but again, it's very thick. They're very, very thick. Not slicing.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's like you stab somebody and then you pull out and then you swing it around, you stab with another point and you push forward and then you stab again. I mean, maybe it's like lots of stabbings rather than slashing. Like, you can't just do that exactly. It's a more refined weapon. I mean, it's clearly more of a the samurai of the Batleth world,
Yeah. Yeah, see, I'd like to see how it's used. I mean, they make the Batleth look very fluid, and it's very ergonomically designed with the different handles and the cutouts and the shape and the cradling it in your arm and stuff for blocking.
Yeah.
I mean, this is designed fairly decently for fighting, but this one, I can't see that in this form. I mean, I would love to see them on screen use it, because maybe they've created a new style that works for it.
Which is awesome.
Absolutely. And I'm looking forward to hopefully seeing something like that. This, I can't see that any functionality like that in this weapon. It doesn't look ergonomically designed. It doesn't look like it can work the same way as a regular Batleth. So I think what you said, being a wall hanger or something purely ceremonial that hangs on a wall, or is just to represent an actual weapon, is probably more practical. I really want to see the form of technique and things that they use to wield this, if they do. It doesn't look as mean and as opposing as this thing does, in my opinion.
I think I might have just cracked it though.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I've been trying to visualize the entire time, as well as listening to you, obviously. But I'm trying to I really want. You need it in person to understand it.
Yeah, it's true.
But I think the Batleth is the broadsword, the big stash. It's got the weight. You got the power with it. Klingons are very physically strong. Put all that weight behind you, you can even break other weapons. Very, very powerful. I think this is the equivalent of the samurai sword. It's thin. It's very, very light in comparison. A lot less metal, but razor sharp. Sorry. I think what this is doing is, if you picture the left-hand blade, I think that top third is absolutely razor sharp. So you hold it, and that's at the top, and then Batleth say you take it, you absorb it, and then you bring the other blade up, stab him from behind. He goes back. You then take that out, pull the other one down. You slash him. He's dead. It's like a double-edged lightsaber in a sense. You use one to set him up and the other one to knock him down. And the spikes are on the outside. If someone comes from behind you or the side of you, you're stabbing, and then suddenly you can then go, pull out and then stab up and then stab down. I mean, I think look how thin it is.
Yeah.
It's an ultra lightweight, quick sort of weapon I think it's the samurai sword of the Klingon world. That's my take on it.
Yeah, well, I see some functionality that way with the way you were describing it. Yeah, absolutely. But like I said, I'd like to see it used on screen in that way, so that I can get a feel for the actual techniques that are used. I mean, the Batleth we've seen so often, and like I said, to hold this one and to play with it, you get a real feel for how easy it is and how maneuverable and manipulative it is in battle. So, but yeah, this could be that exact thing, like a specialist weapon based on. It's still a sword per se, but it could be like the rapier or the katana of the specialist one. Yeah,
I don't think it's a Batleth. I don't think it's a reimagined Batleth. I think it's specifically a unique style of weapon that obviously takes a form, has elements that are similar. Although I will say, stylistically, you zoom in, the hilt is for either like dogs with eyes.
Targs.
Well, possibly targs. Yeah. Well, that's strange to have your pet be the. I guess a wolf is the equivalent, and you have some. Sure. But it's very canine for this sort of vicious sort of, we'll have a dragon or even the Klingon symbol or whatever. And it's literally just 4 of those coming into one spot. It's very personal, it feels like. Very much, I had this commissioned. I could not see this being mass produced. I could not see this be, this is maybe the 4. There you go. Maybe the four wolf, the 4 targs is like a symbol of a house. This is a house master, head of a household's signature weapon that he crafted, custom piece, Batleth in vague style, but it's that quick samurai. Although I don't think the Klingons, based on the armor they have, they don't feel like very fast, maneuverable people. And obviously a secondary armor or whatever. But actually, this is growing the more we discuss it. Because you shouldn't compare it to Batleth. I think it's a secondary, tertiary weapon that's very, very specific in its style.
The one thing, if you'd taken it out of the Star Trek context altogether and shown it to me, first thing I would have, well, not first thing, but one of the first things I would have speculated it might be, is some kind of bow, some kind of archery weapon with that handle in the middle, missing like the string, or even like a laser string or something. I don't know. But I mean, it's got more of an archery feel for me than it does a actual bladed weapon.
So I can absolutely see that. Yeah, it's kind of like the in Avengers you've got Hawkeye, but you've got Alien Hawkeye. You press the middle crystal and it activates, and then you have energy bolts, and then absolutely, why not?
I love that. That's awesome.
Alien Hawkeye. But okay, there you go. There is the episode on this blade. Although I will say, if you go to the close-up picture, which has some depth to it, you can see how not thin any of the blade pieces are. Very, very thick. Even the points are not thin. I mean, this is it's very small blades, but not thin. It's a whole different feel.
It also looks too like all the blades, even the small ones, are segmented. So I wonder if this actually retracts into itself, and it's just a small piece that sticks to your belt, and then you hit the button, and it. I mean, it's a little far fetched, but judging by the way those are segmented, it's a distinct possibility.
Not to link in the JJ verse, but obviously in Star Trek 09, Sulu had the sort that goes out, and I think the Romulan also had a sort of blade that sort of appeared. I mean, it's 200 years in the future. Why wouldn't you have a mass shifter? I mean, if you can fold space or bend space around your ship, why can't you have a thing that goes out? And if that's the case, I see the middle red crystal activates all 4, each individual head activates another one, and suddenly you've got a single blade lightsaber with a hilt, with a secondary hilt, and suddenly you've got very weird stylings, but I could see it being a very unique weapon, and certainly gives that vague Batleth shape, yet brings it into well beyond the 21st century, into again sort of another science fiction show that has all this technology built in. It's kind of Chronicles of Riddick feel, these different shapes. It's a very non-Trek feel, but I can understand the direction they're possibly going, and I think this will look weird, but also could be incredibly kick-ass if done the way we're sort of picturing it. So, okay, there you go. Nice.
What do you guys think? Is this a Batleth? Is this something else? Have we hit the nail on the head with it having retractable blades? What's going on with this thing? What do you guys think? Put it in the comments below. Yes. Look forward to reading their thoughts on that. So, we've also got a lot of other Discovery stuff to look at as well, don't we?
A little bit. A whole lot of different things. I mean, we try and look at different parts of the universe that either link to something else or mean something. So, like the weapons or things that you'll probably see every week or every other week that we have the earlier versions of, we have the later versions, stuff that you can compare. And this is another one of those famous ones that we want to look at. As Stuart is showing you right now. So guys, tune in to all the other videos, keep looking at all those other shows, learn something and see what you think, and let us know, like I said, what you think, because the show's coming out soon, but it's the last time to speculate, so speculate while you can before we know what the Discovery canon is. So thanks very much guys for watching, until next time, and the next great topic. I am Commander Goggins.
And I'm Dahar Master Foley. I mean Captain Foley.
Yes.
Anyway, we'll see you next time guys.
Bye.
Today is a good day today.